quick review of Patrick Bet David's The Vault Conference. I have his book right here that I've been going through over and over again. I thought the conference itself overall was incredible. Just a quick review. It was kind of cold in there. Negative. That's the only negative thing I'm going to say. Pretty much. It was kind of cold in there, but somebody that worked for him said that he keeps it that way because it keeps you more focused. Which, if that's the case, then props. But all in all, the event, I think it was like 6,000 people. It was up in West Palm Beach. I live in Delray Beach at the moment. And so it was a 20-minute drive for me. Traffic, parking was crazy. I mean, it was just 6,000 people in there. But it was really, really something special. The craziest thing is, like, you might think my brain going into the event was like, how am I going to be able to actually take any actionable insights away from a conference that has 6,000 people that are in industries that I'm not even close to being remotely related to? And there are some things in there that are like, hey, this might not apply to us. But for the most part, the conference itself, the content in it was actually so applicable to my business and my life in general. And I thought that was crazy. See, here he is, Patrick's talking, and he's talking for 14 hours straight on day one, right? And he's talking, and he's just giving out advice. He's talking to 6,000 people, and it feels like he's talking directly to me. That's a pretty substantial impact right there, man. That's pretty crazy. So biggest takeaways, right? So number one, the biggest takeaway that I actually came away with was, and I'm not going to edit this video or anything like that, partly because I haven't quite learned how to edit, but I'll get there. So the first takeaway, though, was your mentors, the people that truly have the answers that you're looking for and the results you want, they don't need you. Right? They do not need you at all, or they want your money at all, right? Those guys, you have to go find them. You have to go find them. And I thought that was so like duh, right? So that's pretty cool. So that was number one. And then how am I applying it? So I'll tell you guys, one, the takeaway, then how I applied it. I just started, looking for these mentors. I actually set aside time and I search for the guys that have the results I want. Because how many times do you actually deliberately look for people that have the results you're looking for in life? Not a lot. But what happens, I'm actually starting to see is like I'm starting to figure out what I want a little bit more precisely. I figured I always knew what I want, but a little bit more precise. So that's pretty important. The second thing, number two, Outlast. I thought this was awesome. And it's not like the rah-rah, like you need to outwork everybody and you need to outlast everybody. This is more so around proving it to yourself that you believe you deserve the success, right? Now, if I tell you this, if I wake up, I'm waking up at like 5 a.m., I'm working out, I'm following up with leads, I'm doing like everything that I should be doing, and I'm working as hard as I can. In my head, I'm proving it to myself that I deserve the success that I want, right? If I am able to outlast everybody else and do that further and longer and whatever, just over more time, I'm proving to myself that I want it more, and I'm proving it to myself that I deserve the success that I want. And that confidence that comes from that is the reason that Patrick's like, this is a huge piece of my success. Just outlasting people, right? So that's huge. I thought that was cool. How am I applying it? Realistically, just being tougher, like being more gritty, not giving up on things right away. Hitting my head against the wall and just going right back into it. So those types of things, if like an email campaign doesn't work, just bashing right into it, right? If an idea just falls flat on its face, bashing right into it, right? So just following the process and continue to just stay tough and outlast against your people, but against your competitors, but also in the elements. The other thing was more of like an indirect, number three. I'll kind of leave this as like my last takeaway. Number three is more of like an indirect observation of just observing Patrick Bet David. So I think when you go to these events, which is pretty cool, like cool part of it is one, you get, what they're teaching you, but two, that would have been one. Two, you get to see how they carry themselves in a business setting. And you get to see behind the curtain of who they really are and what these entrepreneurs are actually like. And Patrick was so freaking impressive. He was so freaking impressive, man. He was so dialed in. He'd be speaking and he'd say, "Oh, there's a book on that. It's blah 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 blah." Bang, advice. Then he would be like, "Did you guys see the video?" Bang. He would be able to recite and recall stories, videos, interviews, YouTube videos, podcasts. He was so well read, so well just entrenched in research, and just had a ton of business experience and life experience that he can draw upon to actually help people out and give them advice. And so what it did to me, these past few months, how I'm applying this is I gotta read more again. You see these books right here, man. I read all these books with probably in 1 year, maybe 2 or so. But since then, I haven't really been able to read that many books because I've just been busy doing stuff. And Hormozi talks about this too. Hormozi talks about, I didn't really read books till I was rich. And he's right. I can see that now, 100%. But I also think there's something that happens in your mind when you read a ton of books. And I love Alex Hormozi. He is literally the GOAT. I have his book literally underneath Patrick's book right now. So not throwing shade. I don't even know if anyone's going to see this. But, yeah, my point is Patrick is super well-read. I think what that does with your brain, once again, not only are you proving to yourself that you deserve it, two, you're actually making yourself, your character, a little bit more developed, and that helps you sell a little bit better. That also helps you just live a better life. So those three things were my biggest takeaway. The only negative I thought of was it was just, one, it was, they're long days, but you don't even feel it. It's super fun. But two, it was just super cold in the room, in the conference room itself. But literally everything besides that, man, was super fun. I was on the executive ticket, and if you're thinking about going, I would probably recommend doing the CEO, man. Just write that check. And I don't get any commission on any of their sales, even though I should. I don't even have one subscriber yet, but this is cool, man. Final thoughts and takeaways from that event. Another thing that was cool, and this is a bonus tip, if you guys are still with me here. He said to just unravel all of your processes. Start from every touch point that you have with a customer and think how you can make that better. And I was thinking in my head, damn, that's really important. That's kind of something that probably was on someone's to-do list, but just never got around to it. And I think, a lot of people in business just are stuck because they just can't get around to things on their to-do list. That's why I'm recording this at 10 o'clock at night. But it's pretty important. You list out the entire customer journey, write them out, and then, optimize where you can. And what that does is it creates this, dynamic of you being 1% better than everyone else over and over and over and over and over again. I thought that was super valuable. How am I applying it? Listing it out, bro. Right now it's on the to-do list, but I will be doing it. Anyways, that's 4 things for you guys on the Evolve Conference 2024 in West Palm. And, I'm Ryan Ogren. I have nothing to sell you. I literally just make these videos because they're fun. I'm trying to learn how to edit a little bit more. But in all reality, I'm a deal maker at heart. And I know I need a bigger network to be able to do more deals. So I make these videos in hopes that you like me and think about me when a deal comes your way. All right, guys. Talk to you soon.